Okay. Hello, John. I'm happy that you found some time to talk about the current challenges of the manufacturing industry and potential solutions in the forefront of the Hannover Messe Digital Edition, which takes place from the 12th to the 16th of April. So I'm really curious to get to know some facts on this topic.
Great, Oliver. Nice to meet you.
Yes. So maybe as a first step, can you tell us something about your role in the Oracle organization?
Sure, thank you. Yeah, I run a portion of the industry strategy group. And the industry strategy group is we define strategy for our industries. And we basically work across the many products of Oracle. I work across the different pillars. We work with customers, with analysts, and with others. And then the industries in particular that my team supports is manufacturing, which is industrial manufacturing, automotive, high-tech, consumer goods, and also the retail industry.
Okay, thank you. And what do you think? What are the current challenges for the manufacturing industry right now?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because the challenges I think for manufacturers are somewhat consistent over time, but the priorities change a little bit from time to time, and so companies right now are really struggling with being more agile and really having a lot more visibility across the activities that they work on. Being innovative. I mean, the pace of innovation is increasing at a significant pace. So they are really focused on how do they innovate faster, how do they develop new and develop and support new business models that support the needs of of their customers. With the basically challenges of adapting to all of the impacts of everything that's happening out in the world around new regulations, supply chain issues. And so they really need to be a lot more agile. Up until before the pandemic, there was a big concern around skill sets and resources and making sure that they had the right people to support manufacturers and the employees themselves have the right skill sets.
Mm-hmm. So the Corona crisis amplifies these challenges, or?
Oh, yeah, it amplifies them significantly. In fact, what it's really done is accelerated a lot of the trends that had happened before. I mean, companies were already trying to innovate faster. They were trying to adapt. And with Corona, because I think initially when it came out, people expected a certain thing to happen, and because of it, other things happened, things that maybe they didn't anticipate. And what they're realizing is that they have to adapt a lot quicker than they had previously. Some industries, semiconductor example of, never been busier. They're trying to, satisfy all the demands that they have in order to go support that. Even a lot of the consumer goods, industries, where, people are staying in. And so, where they anticipated this, consistent slowdown across all industries, it really didn't happen. And so I think companies have had to adapt a lot quicker to the changes than they had previously. And in the course of the pandemic that's occurred, they've had to adapt multiple times, and so all of them are recognizing that they need to move faster and in preparing their business to be able to support these. And it's really this overall trend towards digitization. I mean, the challenges that exist is companies need to be digitized. You need to be able to improve the efficiencies and automations and visibility across their enterprise, and they need to be a lot more flexible and react faster. And the pandemic's really accelerated that trend.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you said that the companies have to be more agile, more flexible, and how do you support them by in achieving this goal? Do you have methods, or do you offer concrete solutions, or in which area do you offer solutions for this?
Yeah, so it's Oracle is pretty interesting because they have a really broad footprint of areas that we support them. And so if you think about in order to be able to support this agility, allow companies to be a little bit more flexible and innovate faster, what they need to have is a platform. And that platform, basically a connected digital platform that's really enabled in the cloud is what we provide. We provide it in all of the different, functional areas that they need support in, from innovation, the PLM side and design, engineering, development of new products, up through the the supply chain planning piece and how you plan for those, and then how you execute on those. Taking orders, transitioning that orders through manufacturing, and then be able to run those through, inventory and, across your supply chain, and then be able to deliver the products and then service them in the field. So we support all of those, and those are basically applications that we have to offer, and including, the human capital management that really supports, across the, the different business functions. But the other area that we support is the technologies, and the technologies are really, where you're able to extend and be able to build out, the capability that's required for a particular situation that might be unique for an individual business, or the infrastructure, and allow it to be be flexible enough and scale enough to be able to support their needs into the future. And so we have a pretty wide spectrum of products, and we go pretty deep in each of those products.
Okay, thank you. And can you give us some concrete examples of customers or customer cases where you support them?
Yeah, so I think a couple of great examples, especially at this time and age, is around this entire platform. And Western Digital is a company, a very large company, that basically had 3 different divisions, all using different applications, and they basically combined companies. And when they did, they wanted to transform their business. And in that course of that transformation, they elected to leverage the Oracle basically ERP, SCM, complete footprint cloud, in order to be able to do that. And some of the interesting side effects of that is, during COVID, where you would think that you would be challenged of an implementation process, they were very successful in going live with a number of factories, during the COVID, and they've been able to really meet a lot of their objectives. The other thing that they've really noticed is they've gotten a lot more visibility across the enterprise, so they can react faster. They can anticipate activities and then be able to execute on those. That's one. Another is Cohu, a company that makes some semiconductor equipment, and very, very quality driven company, because they get significant penalties if if as a customer one of their larger customers uses their equipment and something goes wrong with it, then of course they're not making any money, and so they have some high penalties. And so because of it, they're very, very focused on quality. And basically, and they use a lot of suppliers to be able to build out their product. A lot of contract manufacturers. It's really integrated, very complex supply chain, and so they've been able to implement a comprehensive platform, the complete Oracle suite of products. In order to do that, then they leverage that and they extend out that platform to their suppliers, where the suppliers are basically seen as an extension of their manufacturing area. And that's done a few things. It's one, it's allowed them to be able to transition all that information from manufacturing to their suppliers, and so that they're building to the same business processes they might do internally. The other thing it does is if there's any quality issues or any activities, all of that is a closed loop process to bring that information back into the system to make sure that they're manufacturing your products correctly. And then it's also minimized the latency associated with any transitioning information from there and then executing those products. So those are a couple of examples of companies that have kind of done the complete suite and really seen that transformation. There's other examples, like Juniper Networks is a great example of a company that has basically used our planning suite to be able to do this integrated business planning. And basically it's an iteration from sales and operations planning. And it's an opportunity for them to be able to look across their enterprise and be able to plan more effectively, and be able to promise more effectively to their customers what their availability is. Because of the increased capability that they have around this process, they've gotten significant benefit by minimizing their inventory, and at the same time be able to improve the performance to their customers, and do it in such a way that they basically paid for the project in the course of the implementation. And so, and that's the kind of thing that you want to see, right? In this ability to be able to execute in a way that you start to see, that the customers see enough benefit that actually pays for it, and then some. So there's a couple of examples.
Okay, thank you. Very interesting. And what can the visitors see at the Hannover Messe digital? So it's no physical trade fair anymore. It's digital now. What can customers see there?
Yeah, having it being digital is quite interesting. We're gonna have to see how the experience works out for the customers, but there's a great opportunity for them to learn a lot about Oracle, learn a lot about what we can accomplish and do. We have, as I mentioned, we have a very broad footprint, so there's a tremendous amount to see. And we have basically we have demonstrations, we have eye candy content, basically videos to build their interest and give them some basically feeling and perceptions of how the products work together. In addition to that, there's a lot of customer stories, a lot of customers that will be speaking at some of the sessions. But we work across the complete spectrum, and so we're broken up into inventory, or I'll say innovation, planning, make, basically the serving portion, and then deliver. In every one of those, we have a lot of different capabilities and opportunities for you to learn about how Oracle can support the needs of companies. We have some really great sessions also, that you can come in and learn a little bit about our integrated business planning and execution, which is, again, this process around enabling your business to be able to plan better on the front end so that you actually execute as a consolidated story. We have areas, we're actually going to highlight our Innovation 4.0 lab. And so we'll talk about this end-to-end story that really shows how you can kind of take an order into a factory, run through a completely automated factory, hands-free, and then be able to execute through the end-to-end process. And so there's a lot of really good, I think, good content for companies to learn a little bit more about Oracle, and then also learn, what's happening and how to improve their own business with the application of the technologies that we have to offer.
Mm-hmm. And can you also directly talk to experts on a personal level?
Yeah, great question. So in each one of the kiosks, there's an opportunity for you to be able to look at, the demonstration, look at, customer stories, and then also you can, make an appointment to be able to talk to, an expert in that particular area.
Okay. Right? So maybe this is a good replacement for the physical Hannover Messe. Maybe let's see.
It's a lot less expensive, a lot easier than traveling to 32 buildings, I think, that we had to walk around there. But I'll tell you, the one thing that I'll miss is the inability to be able to get a good German hot dog. One of my favorites.
Okay. Yeah, I'm impressed. So I think the Hannover Messe Digital is definitely worth a virtual visit, and you should definitely check out Oracle there. So yeah, very interesting, very broad offerings. So thank you for your time, and I wish you all the best for the future, and especially, of course, for the Hannover Messe.
Hey, thank you, Oliver. It's nice talking to you.
Thank you.